I'm Yashish. Let's talk about liquidity, about DePins. So liquidity is a major concept in like DeFi overall, and we have been seeing upcoming use cases in the DePin industries. Uh, Especially as I said here, so this is what we came up with when we did some research. Who are going to use liquidity, where this is capable for, all of that stuff. So predominantly networks, network states, Akash network, Hive Mapper, all of these require liquidity in the initial days, bootstrapping. They have some incentives in the early days to grow the network. Most of them, if you see, they are highly, I would say, like very inflation, because that's how the nature of the game works. In this game, you need to spend a lot to acquire users, and then it will hopefully you will find PMF in that stage, which can be very cost expensive. Same like in DeFi, acquiring liquidity for a LSD or stable coin. So that's the correlation that we came up with. The challenge is because of the highly dilutive nature. Each and every stakeholder that comes dilutes in the initial days to one another. And the problem is the protocols who are issuing these tokens, right now it's points or like the narrative changes, but they issue a random number in the initial days. There is no fixed calculation or point what to the infra cost of the user is. So in the initial days, because of the speculation, it doesn't matter until the token goes live or very few days. But when the protocol is matured enough, does the token incentives or whatever you are giving, does it actually cover the cost of a user? That's where the problem lies. That's where you see the very great drop off of the users leaving the protocol or leaving the network in that stage. So scaling infra for DePins is gonna be like challenging. You need like very good game theory mechanisms as well as like how to solve for this. How Lucidly solves, or like one of the proposals that we give for a service provider. These probably would be like protocols in DeFi space. These probably are like LRT, stablecoin issuers, or loosely pegged asset issuers. There's a fair market to negotiate for liquidity. So if I propose like I'm for this much amount of activity or for this much task, this is what I'm proposing. If on the opposite end, the user or the liquidity provider in this case doesn't want to take that deal, they can fairly negotiate. So the protocols really know for a particular task how much the user is valuing them in their token denominated value and dollar denominated value. And then because of this, there is a very good like liquid credit market that get integrated across the system, in which like then it's all about the composability layer that DeFi has, so you can use these things across stuff. This is just a cool chart that I try to show, in which most of the big problem is of the liquidity is like the time lock. Most of the protocols want a longer time frame. They don't want for like a week or 2 weeks, and because of them, they usually how it works right now is they throw incentives in the start and expect something in return. But we have taken a different approach, in which a user guarantees a liquidity for a fixed time, and on that basis they negotiate the pricing, which is beneficial for protocols because they really want to work for longer time. Like 3 months is the bare minimum that they would consider giving extra rewards on from what we have seen. So user provides liquidity for 3, 6, 12 months, on which basis they negotiate the price according to them. And then most of them is divided into two parts. One is the principal part, which is just like whatever the collateral that user has put up to stake. And then there's the bond option, which is, I would say, like in the early days is all the speculative part the people trade on. These are some of the solutions that we are using at the moment. We have a stable swap mechanism which works like a Dutch auction. So every time, like when the prices are not matching, there's someone willing to come at a lower price, probably to take up the time duration risk and stuff. Because everything comes, I don't know about you guys, but in DeFi, most of the deals are happening of liquidity off chain, and the deals can range from 30 to 100% depending on which market maker you go for borrowing liquidity. And there's a huge risk for people who are putting money on chain. So all of our protocol stable swap mechanism runs on chain, so you can actually realize the risk premium. What are you going to pay for that? So that's how our system works. These are the four like easy steps. Like you originate how much liquidity you want on the protocol, how much time frame, what are the steps you're going to initiate. Then you fund. We call them coupon payments. So you upfront the payment that you're going to stream for 6, 12, n amount of time. And then the capitalize is probably like you throw the incentives. Those incentives only match when the user on the opposite hand has put up the commitment, which is for providing liquidity for 6, 12, 18 months. And then there's a secondary market as well. So if for some user, they want to go out because like liquidity is too long, they need cash. We have a order book mechanism where they can go out, but the price, like they will incur some slippage because of the duration risk. This actually unlocks a lot of like liquidity, unlock liquidity, I would say, which is helpful for a user on a risk premium basis. So right now we are in the, I would say like ETH mainnet only, working with DeFi's, LRT stablecoin, as I said, liquidity providers and credit issuers. The system is pretty straightforward. If your asset needs liquidity, right now we are only dealing with like loosely pegged asset, loosely pegged ETH or a stable coin. You can come to us. We have a network of LPs that want to provide LP. We negotiate a deal on basis of them and allow you to acquire liquidity at a much cheaper cost than if you would have gone anywhere. So that's us. If you are here trying to bootstrap liquidity on chain, would love to talk to you. I'll be probably here around. Thank you.